So hi students, welcome to the class. So we are at the sixth video of the chapter 1. So that is part 6 today. Okay. So in the last class what we saw is introduction to irrational numbers and the properties of irrational numbers and some questions within the examples, right? So we'll be entering into exercise 1b after seeing a brief concept about comparison of irrational numbers. So how to compare two irrational numbers? So for example, there is a number root 2 and there is a number root 3. So you can easily compare root 2 is less than root 3. That is because they have same power. Root 2 means 2 power 1 by 2 and root 3 means 3 power 1 by 2. So when the powers are same, we can compare the bases directly. So this is less than this. Okay. But some questions what happens, powers will be different and base will be different. So then we cannot compare. So either the bases should be same. For example, root 2 cube root 3. When I see this, 3 power 1 by 2, 3 power 1 by 3. Now bases are same. When the bases are same, we can only think about the power. 1 by 2 is greater than 1 by 3. That is the reason root 3 is greater than cube root of 3. Okay. So here powers are compared, here bases are compared, because the power is same here base is same. So that is the logic we are going to use to compare the irrational numbers with the different powers. Okay, let's see the example directly in the book instead of going to some other example. Let me take the example from the book itself. Okay, so let's see. There is an example that is in the page number 14, which says, which of the following number is greater? Which of the following number is greater? The one is 3 root 2 and 2 root 3. Okay. Now, so the root is there for only 2 and root is only for 3. So what I can do is, I can do some simplification. So I can get this 3 inside the root. For example, if I say root 8, we can say it is root of 4 into 2, right? So then I can say root 4 into root 2, it will become 2 root 2. So if I want to bring that back to root 8 format, 2 root 2 can be brought like this. We can get the root 2 inside the root, so it becomes 2 square, then it will become root 8. Okay, so this is the same approach. I'm going to use it now. So this is not required for this example. I just explained how to do it. Okay, now what we do is, you have 3 outside the root, right? So we have this 3 outside the root. So what we can do is, we can bring it inside the root by taking it 3 square into 2, whereas this can be written as 2 square into 3. Now I have same power, so I just have to compare what is in the square root. Okay, this is root 18, this is root 12. Now can you tell me, this is 18 power 1 by 2, this is 12 power 1 by 2. Bases are different, powers are same, so I can compare only the base. 18 is more than 12, so that is why root 18 is more than root 12. So I can say 3 root 2 is greater than 2 root 3. That is how you compare the irrational numbers with the different powers. Okay. Now second example is 6 cube root 3 and then 5 cube root 4. So what we can do? So again, we have to bring that inside the cube root. Now it is going to be cube root of 6 cube into 3. Okay, whereas this will be cube root of 5 cube into 4. Now I just have to compare within the cube root what is there. So 6 cube is 216. Okay, so 216 into 3. Okay, whereas this one is 5 cube is 125 into 4. Now I need to understand this product. So 16 3s are 48, 200 3s are 600, totally 648 it is. Whereas 125 4 is exactly 1000 into 4. Okay, so now I can say 648 is less than 1000. So that is the reason I can say 6 cube root 3 is less than 5 cube root 4. Okay, so that is the answer. So we compared it. So that's done with the examples. Now I have a small concept left which I already explained in the beginning of the class itself when we classify the numbers. Okay, but still we are going to see that one more time. Okay, there is one thing called real numbers. Now, what are real numbers? The real numbers include both rational and irrational. So whatever the number we saw this so far are all called real numbers. Okay, so what do you mean by that? Real number is a superset of rational numbers. That means rational number is a subset of real number. Irrational number is also a subset of real numbers. Anything else is left here? No. Everything else is coming under real numbers. That means real number is nothing but union of rational and irrational numbers. So this indicates every rational number is real and not vice versa. Vice versa, the reverse is not true, because there are some irrational numbers also. So I can also say every irrational number is also real, not vice versa. Vice versa is every real number is irrational is not correct. Okay, because rational number is a superset which contains both irrational and rational, and no real rational number is irrational, no irrational number is rational, because they are exactly complement of each other. Okay, so that means I can explain this intersection of Q and Q dash, that is common to that is null set. This is null set. There is no intersection for Q and Q dash. Union is going to be real number. Intersection of Q and Q dash will be null set. Okay, so it is impossible to have anything common between. There is no number which is both rational as well as irrational. It is a meaning. So now we are getting into exercise 1B. Okay, again I will not be solving the entire entire exercise here. So there are some questions which will be left for you to solve as an assignment. Okay, so now we are entering into the next second exercise in this chapter 1B. Let's see what is it. Let us start with the first question. First question in that the heading is state whether the following numbers are rational or not. The first sub question is 2 plus root 2 whole square. Any guesses? Is it rational or irrational? If you can avoid this root 2 at the end, so that may be rational. But can you avoid it? What is this? A plus b whole square format. That is a square plus b square plus 2ab. In this format it is there, right? So that means if you have to square it, it is 2 square plus root 2 whole square plus 2 into root 2. So this is 4 plus 2 plus 2 into 2, 4 root 2. So we end up with 6 plus 4 root 2. So in this, at the end, what we have is root 2 term, which is not possible to remove. This is irrational part. So this number becomes irrational. Okay. And the second example is similar to that. Second one I am leaving it to you. Third one I am trying to do now. Second one is your work now. Okay. I will be checking all this in the live class. You will be finishing this before asking doubts in the live class. Okay. 5 plus root 5, 5 minus root 5. What is it? This is on the form a plus b into a minus b, which is a square minus b square. So that means 5 plus root 5, 5 minus root 5 will be 5 square minus root 5 whole square. We end up with 25 minus 5, which is simply 20. So which turns out to be rational. So the answer for this third question is rational. Okay. So I am leaving 4th, 5th and 6th to you. Okay, as well as second. So question number 2, that is second one, 4th one, 5th one and then 6th one is your work. Okay. There is nothing here. We just have to solve that, simplify that and check at the end, do we have rational or irrational part remaining. Okay. So now find the square. Second question is find the square of I'll take first example only. 3 root 5 by 5. Okay, so you can do two ways. One is first simplify and then square, or square it and simplify it. Okay, so I'll go for first squaring it. When you square it, it becomes 3 root 5 by 5 whole square. Okay, which is 3 square into root 5 whole square into 5 square. Okay, we end up with 3 square into 5 divided by 25. 5 ones are 5 5s are. We end up with 9 by 5. That is one way. Or we can alternatively we can simplify this in the direct first step itself. Square is there, no? So we can say square root. This would be square root of 5 into square root of 5. One square root cancels, but we still have at the end entire 5. So we end up with 3 square by root 5 whole square, which will be correctly same as the first answer. Okay, that's how we square it. So again, remaining 3 questions, you can square them yourself. Okay, using a plus b whole square and a minus b whole square formula, you can do that. Okay. Now question number 3. State whether it is true or false. It is true or false type of questions here. See, root a plus root b cannot be written as root a plus b unless both are equal. But we say root a plus root a will be equal to 2 times root a. That we can do. So like irrational numbers can be added. Okay, unlike irrational numbers cannot be added. Like terms in unlike terms in algebra, here also we have them. Okay, so the first one says this. You have to tell me, is it true or false? Root 2 plus root 3 is equal to root 5. Is it true or false? Tell me. This is false. We cannot add it like that. Okay. And second one, 2 root 4 plus 2 is equal to 6. So we cannot rule out directly, but we need to try to simplify this. 2 root 4 is 2 square, right? Plus 2. Now this will cancel. We end up with 2 into 2, 4 plus 2, which is equal to 6. So this is true. Second statement is true. Okay. Third one, 3 root 7 minus 2 root 7 is root 7. So are they like terms? Yes, they are like numbers. So I can take root 7 common. So 3 minus 2 will be inside the bracket. We end up with root 7 into 1. So this is true. Third statement is true. Fourth one, they are saying 2 by 7 is irrational. Is it true? Can you write irrational number in the p by q form, I by v form? Not possible, right? This is false. Because, why? Because 2 by 7 is rational. So any number which is rational cannot be irrational. Okay. If you try to divide 2 by 7, we get this 0.285714, which is a repeating number. So non-terminating repeating number it is. Okay. So that is why it's going to be rational number, not irrational. Then 5 by 11 is rational number. They are saying fourth question, 5 by 11 is rational. Is it right? Yes, because it is already in the a by b form where a and b are integers and b is not equal to 0. That's why this is true. Okay. Sixth one, all rational numbers are real numbers. All rational numbers are real. Is it right? Yes, just now I told you all rational numbers are, every rational number is a real number because Q is a subset of R. So that is why this statement is true. Okay. Seventh one says all real numbers are irrational. Is it right? Tell me. This is false. That is because Q dash is a subset of R. Q is also a subset of R. That means every number in the real number need not be irrational. They can be rational numbers also. The reverse of this is true. Every irrational number is, all irrational numbers are real. But what they are saying is all real numbers are irrational, which is false. Okay? And some real numbers are rational numbers. That is the last statement. Some real numbers are rational numbers. Yes, this is correct. Not all the real numbers are rational numbers. All the real numbers are rational numbers. Only some. This is the right word. Because again the same reason, Q is a subset of R. That means R has both Q as well as Q dash in that. Okay, this is real number which is Q as well as Q dash in that. So some real numbers are rational, remaining are irrational. Okay, so that's why the last statement is true. Okay. The question number 4, there is a universal set. In that you need to figure out which are rational, which are irrational, and which are integers and which are non-negative integers. We need to write the set. Okay. So the set given is like this: -6, -5, 3/4, -√4, -3/5, -3/8, 0, 4/5. That's the universal set they are calling it as. Okay, 4/5, 1, 1, 2/3, √8, and then 3.01, pi 8.47. So here what we are going to do is set of rational numbers. Which are rational numbers here? We can write it. So every integer is a rational number. So -6 is a rational number. -5, 3/4 is also rational number. -√4 is actually -2. That is also rational number. -3/5 is also rational number. Okay, -3/8 is rational number. 0 is rational number. 4/5 is rational number. 1 is rational number. 1, 2/3 is rational number. √8 is irrational. 3.01 is rational. Pi is irrational. 8.47 is rational. Okay. Second one, set of irrational numbers. That means in the universal set, all are rational except remaining are irrational, right? So whatever the left out here, that's going to be irrational. Which is left out is √8 and then pi. That's it. So they are irrational. Okay. So the remaining 3 and 4, you are going to do it. That is very simple. They are asking integers and then non-negative integers. So integers you can say which are integers: -6, -√4 because it turns out to be 2, and then 0, and then 1. Yeah, that's it. These are integers. And non-negative integers are 0, 1. So I did myself. That's simple. Okay. So these are the answers for the 4th question. 5th one, I'm leaving it to you. Why am I leaving it to you? Because you know how to do it. Representing the irrational numbers and rational numbers on the number line. So this we have done already. Okay. In the examples, we have done too many examples. So question number 5 is going to be your problem. So your assignment. Still, you might have one doubt in the question number 5. That is how to represent 3 minus √2 on the number line. Okay. So that means I'll just explain that. This is the number line we have. This is origin 1, 2, 3. Okay. So this side -1, -2, -3. So we need to subtract √2 from 3. So this is 3 here, but it will be less than that. That's very clear. So I need to go back by √2 this side. So how will you go back by √2? So we need to write a line perpendicular to this, taking this as a center, and I'll mark 1 unit. This is A, this is B. Okay. Now this is 1 unit, this is 1 unit. So we are going to join this. Okay. So and then taking this as a length, this length has to be taken from the compass, and I need to take this as a center and I have to mark it. So first you take a compass and measure this length. This is √2. Okay, so and then take this as a center and mark the same distance as with the arc on the line. So this will be √2 subtracted from this. So this will become 3 minus √2. Suppose if you want 3 plus √2, what will you do? You will take the same distance and mark it here. This will be 3 plus √2. Okay, so that's what it is. So 3 plus √2, 3 minus √2, you can mark it easily. So the remaining anyway you can understand, right? So question number 6. Prove the irrationality of the numbers, which I am not going to do because we have done this in example, and even if you ask me doubt, I'll ask you to check the example. Okay, so the same thing what we did for the example questions, different questions, but the method is all same. You can go for the logical method only here, because this is not a number where you can do square division. Okay, we can do square division only for √3, only single numbers we can do, but we have √3 plus √2, √3 minus √2, √5 minus 2. This can be done using the logical method. Okay, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 is all yours. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These are all verbal questions where you have to find out some numbers and write them. So that is your work again. I'll be going to 13th question. Writing in the ascending order. Write in the ascending order. The irrational numbers are given. We need to write in the ascending order. That's what we saw today. So first one, 3√5, 4√3. What is the power you are looking at? The power what you are looking at is cube square root, right? So that's why we are going to do this. 3 into 5 power 1 by 2 is there. So I'll take that 3 inside that. So it will become 3 square into 5. And 4 inside that, it is 4 square into 3. So 3 square into 5 is 45. Whereas 4 square into 3 is 48. So we can say 48 is more than 45. So I can say √45 itself is less than √48. So in the ascending order, this is in the right order, 3√5 and then 4√3. Okay. So now what if the different powers are there? That is second one and third one I'm leaving it to you in the 13th question. 14th question, write in the descending order, that is also left to you. Okay, but still in the 14th question, first one I'll do. First one is 2 4th root of 6 and then 3 4th root of 2. 4th root means if you are bringing 2 inside the 4th root, you should raise the power by 4, right? So 4th root of 2 power 4 into 6 it is. This is 4th root of 3 power 4 into 2. And what is 2 power 4, you know? 16 into 6. And what is 3 power 4, you know? 81 into 2. Okay, so clearly you can see this is 96 table and this is 81 2s are 162. So which one is greater here? 162 is greater. So that means what? We have to write in the descending order. So that is the reason we can say 3 4th root of 2 first and then 2 4th root of 6. So we are writing in the descending order. Okay. So now coming to question number 15. Compare this. This is important. Square 6th root of 15 and 4th root of 12. Here bases are also different, powers are also different. So what we are going to do is we will keep the power same because bases is not easy to make it same. Okay. So 6th root, we can also go for base same later, we can do that. This is 15 power 1 by 6. This is 12 power 1 by 6. What is the power we have here? 1 by 6, 1 by 4. So we need to eliminate and make it same power. So we will take the LCM of the denominators of the power. What is the LCM of 6 and 4? LCM of 6 and 4 is 12. Okay, so now raise the power of each number. Raise the power of each number such that they will become same. That is, it should become 12, it should also become 12. Okay, so 15 power 1 by 6 whole power 12, 12 power 1 by 4 whole power 12. So raise each power by 12. So we end up with 15 power 2, we end up with 12 power 3. Okay, so now you know 15 square is 225, whereas 12 cube is very much more. We know that 12 square is 144, into 12 you have to do. So this will be obviously greater number. So we don't have to compare this. We can directly say 15 power 1 by 6 is less than 12 power 1 by 4. So which will end up with very simple answer. 6 root 15 is less than 6 root of 15 is less than 4 root of 12. This is the method we are going to use. Okay. So LCM is very important. So one more example I'll do, as it's already done in example also, which I did not explain. So you can check the example for more details in the next example, one more example in the question. Okay, now I'll do the second question in 15th one. The second question is comparing square root of 24 and cube root of 35. Square root of 24, square root of 24 and cube root of 35. Let's see what to do here. So here 24 power 1 by 2. This is 35 power 1 by 3. So what will you do? Take LCM for 2 as well as 3. So LCM of 2 and 3 will be 6. So raise the power on both sides. Raise the power of both the numbers by 6. So 24 power 1 by 2 whole power 6, and then 35 power 1 by 3 whole power 6. We end up with 24 cube and then 35 square. Okay, do you know which is greater? 24 square is 576. This is 576 into 24. Okay, this will be 35 into 35. So 35 square will be, you just have to square it like this, or I can give a number example, give a very simple logic. 5 square will end with 25. Okay, so 3 into next number 4, it's going to be 1225. So which is greater? Can you tell me? This is very small, this is very much greater. So that is the reason square root of 24 is greater than cube root of 35. So that is the answer. Okay, that's how we compare. So 5 more questions are remaining in exercise 1B. Sixteenth question says, insert two irrational numbers between 5 and 6. Between 5 and 6, we need to insert two irrational numbers. So that means we square it first. It's better to square them and see the square root. That will be better. Okay, because we need irrational number means we need to have a square root in that. Better, no? So what is square of this? 5 is nothing but what? Square root of 25. And 6 is nothing but what? Square root of 36. Now you insert any two irrational numbers means we can write square root of any numbers between 25 and 36 which are not going to be perfect square. That means I can write square root of 26, square root of 27, square root of 28, square root of 29, square root of 30. All these are irrational numbers only. Till square root of 31, square root of 32, square root of 33, square root of 34, square root of 35. So all these are irrational numbers. We just want to take any two. So you can insert any two and say they are irrational numbers. Okay. Seventeenth question. Insert 5 irrational numbers between 2 root 5 and 3 root 3. Between 2 root 5 and 3 root 3. Again, what will you do? 3 root 3. So let me take it inside this first. So what happens is square root of 2 square into 5. This is square root of 3 square into 3. We end up with square root of 20 square root of 27. So how many irrational numbers are there between them? There are many irrational numbers. We need to insert 5. So I can say square root of 21, square root of 22, square root of 23, square root of 24, square root of 25 is not an irrational number. So we go for 26. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Very simple as that. Okay. Eighteenth, write two rational numbers between root 2 and root 3. Write two rational numbers between root 2 and root 3. Root 2 and root 3. So we need to write any two rational numbers between root 2 and root 3 means we need to find the perfect squares. First we square them for between 2 and 3, right? So what is the value of this? 1.41 something. This will be 1.7 something, and we need to write two rational numbers between them. So there is an example given already. I have explained that example. So they are taken like root 2 is already less than root 3, right? So they are going to take any perfect square which is decimal also. Still we can take a perfect square, and root of 2.56. Even we can take up root of 2.89. So until it goes 3. Okay. So what is square root of that? 1.5. 1.6 and 1.7. So 1.5 can be still written as 3 by 2, and this can be written as 16 by 10, okay, which can be further written as 8 by 5, okay, and 17 by 10. So these are the numbers which are rational still, right, and they lie between 1.4 and 1.73 something, okay, 729 something. So exactly 1.7 is less than that, okay. So this is how we insert the rational numbers. Any two rational numbers laterally. So we anyway have 3 inserted. You can take any 2 for this question. 19th one. Write 3 rational numbers between root 3 and root 5. Again. So we can take it as root of 3.00 root of 5.00. So we know, we'll assume just 300 and 500. How many perfect squares are there between 300 and 500? So we have 324, 3, that is 18 square, 19 square, 20 square, right? So and then 21 square, 22 square, 484, 23 square, 529. It's crossing 500. So we are not looking at this. We have to go for 2 decimals here, 3.61, 4.41, and then this, and then take their square root. That will be your answer. Take their square root. So it is 1.8, 18 square, and this is 1.9, this is 2, 2.1, 2.2. These are all the numbers which are rational numbers, which can be written as again 18 by 10 and 9 by 5. This is 19 by 10. This is 2 by 1. 21 by 10. 22 by 10, which is also written as 11 by 5. So these are the rational numbers we are looking at. So they are asking 5. I think we have 5 here. Yes? Yes. They are asking only 3. So we have anyway 5. Okay? So last question in this exercise. With that we can wind up with this video. Okay? So as I told you, I'll be a little fast because we have to finish up the chapter. At the same time, we have a video here, so we can rewind and watch it if you miss out anything. So no need to worry even if I'm fast. Okay. Simplification. They're asking simplify the following. First example, first question. 5th root of 16 and into 5th root of 2. It's not 12, it is 2. So we have to first write it in the exponential form, 16 power 1 by 5 into 2 power 1 by 5, and we have to use this rule. A power m into b power m can be written as ab power m. Same thing I'm going to do now. 16 into 2 whole power 1 by 5, which is going to be 32 power 1 by 5, and 32 is nothing but 2 power 5 whole power 5. So we know a power m whole power n is going to be a power m, and Same way we can multiply 5 into 1 by 5, they will cancel, we end up with 2 power 1. So that is a simplified answer. So this will end up with 2 as an answer. Okay. So let us recall this formula. If you don't understand this, let me write down the identities we use for exponential operations like this. A power m into a power n is a power m plus n. A power m into b power n means ab power m. A power m divided by a power n is a power m minus n. A power m whole power n is a power mn. Okay. A power minus n is nothing but reciprocal of a power n. Okay. And mth root of a is a power 1 by m. So all these are going to be used in this simplification. Okay. The 20th question, second question is simplify 4th root of 243 divided by 4th root of 3. So this is of this form: 243 power 1 by 3, 1 by 4 divided by 3 power 1 by 4. So we can still write it as 243 by 3 whole power 1 by 4. Okay. So now this is something we have to think. 243 and we have 3 there. We'll divide by 3. 3 81s are, 3 27s are, 3 9s are, 3 3s are. So how many times 3 is there? 5 times. So it is 243 is nothing but 3 power 5 by 3 whole power 1 by 4, which will end up with 1 3 will cancel. It will be 3 power 4 1 by 4 power. Again 3 power 4 into 1 by 4, 4 4 cancels. We end up with 3. So answer for this question is 3. So one last one I'll do, and the 4th one is left to you. It's simply a squaring thing. We can do that later. That you'll do it. So now what I have is 3 plus root 2 into 4 plus root 7. 3 plus root 2 into 4 plus root 7. So that is the question. Yes. So how will you simplify? X plus a into x plus b. How will you multiply? You will multiply like x into y plus b. We just multiply like x into y plus ay plus bx plus ab. Same thing I'm going to do now. 3 into 4 12 and 4 root 2 and 3 into root 7 plus 4 root 7 into root 2, which is going to be 12 plus 4 root 2 and 3 root 7, which cannot be added, and then root of 14. So this can be further simplified. Still we can do one thing. 4 root 2 is there. So 12 can be written as 12 can be written as I think we can write it as 6 into 2, right? Or we can even write it as 4 into 3. This is 4 root 2. This is 3 root 7. I can take that. Yeah, this cannot be simplified. This is the only thing. I think we can only write it like this. This is the simplified format, because whatever you do, you cannot bring anything outside the square root. So this is a simplified form. They cannot be simplified further. Okay. So that's all. The last question is left to you. That is 20th question, sub question 4, square of root 3 minus root 2. That you will be doing it yourself. Okay. And you will give me the answer in the next live session. Okay. So now I am left with only one important part of this class, surds, which will be finished in next video, and exercise also will be finishing it in the next video. 1D. 1D will be left out. 1C I will be doing it. So 1D will keep it at the end. After the live session, I will give the video which covers solution for 1D, which is a special exercise which covers everything we did in the last videos. Okay. So that is the end of part 6 video. So we will be looking at part 7 in the next video. Okay. So thank you. We're winding up now.